The truth about Broken Arrow is it's going to be a successful game. How successful will come down to the first week, both the early access period and the following few days after official release. Hello guys, and welcome to a new Broken Arrow video today by me, Vulcan. In this one, it's going to be a bit different from my gameplay videos and a difficult video for me to make, as I'm going to be quite candid. I wanted to talk about all the things good and bad that we can expect, my concerns, and also a plea to the community. If you don't know Broken Arrow, it's a modern era tactical RTS that you should definitely have your eye on. I'll start with the plea whilst you're here. If you've been around the tactical RTS genre for a long time, you'll know that we've certainly had our fair share of controversy in the community back in the wargame days, world conflicts rise and fall, and in the corporate side with Eugen's troubled period. Broken Arrow is set to be the most successful tactical RTS ever made, and my plea to the community is to take this opportunity to introduce your friends, treat each other with respect, and welcome those who may not usually play these kinds of games. There is multiple aspects to this. First, due to the hype of Broken Arrow, we'll not only be able to pull in our friends to a brand new type of game, but also a new generation of younger players and content creators. In the past, creators unfamiliar with the genre have been put off the tactical RTS community due to both the elitist side, but also the trolling side through stream sniping and malicious activity. I'd like to ask that people be respectful and helpful, as this will help draw in even more players from their communities that will help the genre grow as a whole, which can only be a good thing for all parties involved. This also extends to the developers who have ultimately been working very hard to bring you this game. They deserve your respect as well. A second point to this is I really want to discourage cheating. It goes without saying, but I do not support cheating in multiplayer at all. Whilst there may be a robust anti-cheat in Broken Arrow on release, the community really needs to come together to expel bad actors. The last thing we need is another Tarkov situation for the developers to have to deal with. I may not have the expertise to stop cheating, but some of you might, so let's do our best to discourage, if not stop it. I understand there may also be political issues, ones that I personally avoided talking about in the past. The timing of the server issues around Warno and other Eugen games that prevents Russian players from playing is certainly suspicious, but I've never been one to put my 2 cents in without good evidence. The trailer that copied footage from Ukraine seemed at best a bad joke, and at worst disrespectful propaganda. The difficulty is a game so popular focusing on a modern arms conflict between Russia and the West at a time where Russia is actively at war is always going to be a contentious subject. However, I didn't see people calling out videos of gameplay about Ukraine fighting Russia at a time when the subject of the war was most sensitive. Quite the opposite. Those videos on other people's channels did extremely well, profiting from the loss in those countries. The truth is, Broken Arrow doesn't focus on this conflict at all. Furthermore, I trust in Slytherin, a UK publisher, who I've worked with closely in the past, to not allow Steel Balalaika to push such a narrative if that's what they wanted to do. And spoiler, it's not. I've known many of the people who work on Broken Arrow through passing in game by talking to them directly or meeting them in person, like FLX. As far as I remember, all interactions have been positive, and they are just enthusiastic to create a game similar to those that they've enjoyed themselves in the past. The truth is, Broken Arrow will be an amazing game because of this. Most watching this video would have already had at least one chance to play it, and in all my videos I haven't seen a single player comment that they are refusing to play the game based on its gameplay. Ultimately, the game has a perfect mix of rule of cool, authenticity, and fun gameplay. Whilst there may be changes I don't agree with, such as the complete removal of death tax, which could still be a work in progress, I still think that the game is going to be really fun on arrival, and I'm looking forward to playing it loads. However, there is one area I don't agree with: Slytherin and the Steam store page. Currently, the only edition you can buy is the pre-order, which in my currency is £50, a hefty price for the first game in its series. One that has been partially funded on Patreon. This edition gives you 3 days early access, in-game skins, wallpapers, and original soundtrack. When the game releases on 19th of June, you can buy an edition of the game for £40, but why not before? It feels as if they've purposefully taken away the choice of the consumer to wait 3 days and save £10, which is ultimately just bad practice and it should be called out. I think this is very important because of one of my main concerns: server problems. Both open playtests have been plagued with server issues. The first was having issues for almost a week, forcing them to extend it. The second, the first few days. If Broken Arrow is to be as successful as it is set up to be, then Slytherin and Steel Balalaika really need to be on the money with enough servers and ready technicians to sort out any issues that may arise. If not, all those paying for 3 days early access will be shouting from the rooftops. The Steam reviews will be bombed, creators outside the genre will leave, and the release will be another forever scar on the tactical RTS genre. I've heard some people say that because it's not free anymore, the issues won't be as bad, but I predict there will be at least 30,000 concurrent players on release, higher than the last playtest. Broken Arrow is the 28th highest wishlisted game on Steam, and the highest overall RTS. That is impressive, if not concerning. Another concern of mine is regarding the anti-cheat. We've seen no evidence of it yet, which according to the developers is purposeful so that cheaters cannot preemptively develop cheats. It makes sense, and I trust it will be there, but how good it is remains to be seen, and I'm really hoping that they are taking the threat seriously, because aside from server issues, this is the second biggest issue that Broken Arrow faces on release. I also wanted to touch on bugs, and whilst I don't expect there to be any game-breaking bugs, during the more recent playtest, I was able to show on the channel we still had lobby bugs, in-game bugs, such as purchasing units and they don't show up, deck bugs, putting you on default as you load in, and so on. Again, I trust that Steel Balalaika has been working hard to fix these, so here's hoping for a much less buggy release. Truth is though, there will always be bugs that need splatting. It's up to the community to help report, support, and understand that, rather than scorn it. A final concern is development time. I remember a few years ago people predicted that Broken Arrow would release at the end of the year. I stated that it was years away at the time. Here we are years later, and a couple of delays, and I just wanted to touch on the prospect of DLC. If this game does very well, Steel Balalaika may expand, improving production speed and post-release content. This is what we should hope for, but if not, it may be best to not expect a DLC anytime soon. So having covered all that, I just wanted to mention about my stake in all of this. Some of you may look at this video and suggest that I'm only making it because if Broken Arrow does well, my channel does well. Truth is, whilst this is true of course, it's my job, I make this video first and foremost as one of the biggest tactical RTS fans on the planet. One whose journey started with Sudden Strike and Blitzkrieg back in the day, and went to university to study building such games. I've loved RTS for over 20 years. I want more people to play RTS and share in my hobby. This video is aimed at the players, developers and publisher alike. Let's come together to enjoy Broken Arrow and make RTS great again. Make sure to subscribe for all the Broken Arrow content to come. Thank you very much for watching, hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.